place that we claim to have access to, or that we say we have desire to have access to. We must be willing to be set apart sufficiently to come to that place. Hi, this is Barry, folks, with 10-Minute Torah, day number 2 of Be'ha'alateka. When you raise, or when you raise up. Let's continue now in Numbers, or Bamidbar, chapter number 8. Verse number 5 and some verses following say, And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Take the Levites from among the children of Israel, and you shall cleanse them. And do this to them to cleanse them. Sprinkle water, a sin offering on them. They shall shave all of their body, and shall wash their garments, and cleanse themselves. Then we see in verse number 15, Then after that the Levites shall go in to do the service in the tent of appointment when you have cleansed them and waved them as a wave offering. For they are given ones, given to me, Yah says, from among the children of Israel, and I have taken them for myself instead of all of those who opened the womb, the firstborn of all the children of Israel. For all the firstborn among the children of Israel are mine, both man and beast. On the day that I struck all of the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, I set them apart to myself. And I have taken the Levites instead of all the firstborn of the children of Israel. And then in verse 19 he says, And I have given the Levites as a gift to Aaron and his sons from among the children of Israel to do the service of the children of Israel in the tent of appointment, and to make atonement for the children of Israel, that there be no plague among the children of Israel when the children of Israel come near the set-apart place. A lot of reading. So let's break this down and try to gain some understanding here. First of all, when Moshe is told to take the Leviim, the Levites, the word for take here is chok. It's a 2-letter word. It's a kof and a chet. And it means to take someone by the hand, maybe even forcibly, seizing them, acquiring them, as if a man goes and he selects a bride and he takes her by the hand and says, You're mine. It's the idea of taking a hold of someone to bring them from where they are to another place. And so what's interesting is that in this setting, at least, Yah doesn't seem to be asking the Levites, Are you willing to do this? He just says, Moshe, take them. Now, earlier on at the sin of the gold calf and its aftermath, Moshe called for those that would stand with him, and it was the Levites who chose to come and be with him. So they did make a choice in some way, but in this setting, Yah seems to be taking them up further than what they may have anticipated. So he says, instead of all of the firstborn of each family and in each tribe that would normally be doing this role of service, I'm taking you as the Levites in their place. And so you feel the role of the firstborn priesthood here. Now, the firstborn priesthood goes back to ancient times where normally the firstborn male child of each family would have some standing, some significance as a priest to the family. Not always the case. Certainly in the lives of the patriarchs, we don't see that Ishmael or Esau operates as a family priest, although they could have perhaps if they were willing to set themselves apart to it. And they were not. And so someone else was taken. In this instance, then, the Levites began to function in this role. Now, when they are taken, just because they're chosen and selected and identified, it doesn't mean that they're ready to step into their service. First, there is a ritual. Whether we agree with the idea of rituals or not, whether that's in a part of our culture or our understanding, Yah employs rituals. And the ritual is this: they are to wash themselves in the waters of purification. This would be the waters derived from the ashes of the red heifer, and a ritual process. And they are also to shave off all of the hair from their body. Now, it was allowed to grow back, but for this ritual purpose, they were to shave themselves. So they are being vitally connected to two important things. Number one, they are being connected to the red heifer, which is a type and a shadow of Yeshua. The red heifer is that purifies those that have been in contact with death, the death of a loved one, or they were under a tent's covering or something when a dead body was there, and also those with sarat, those who have been healed of leprosy, as it is called in most texts. So they would have been connected through this with those who have suffered tragedy or hardship in life. Secondly, they are connected to the Nasir. Nasir is the one who has made a vow. He has abstained from cutting his hair, from anything that grows on the vine, such as grapes or given to wine. He's abstained from that. And his abstinence is for a certain number of days or a period of time, as he declares. Afterwards, he shaves all of his hair off. Now, is allowed to grow back. And after his vow is completed, he may partake of wine again. But he retains his status as long as he walks uprightly. A Nasir is one who has made a great vow. No one made a greater vow than Yeshua. When he came and emptied himself that he might atone for us, Yeshua made a vow and says, I have the power to lay my life down and to take it up again. He vowed that he would do so, and he did so. Yeshua, a very prominent type of the Nasir, we are vitally connected to him again as the Levites through this instance. And so Yeshua is lifting up these Levites, but they are being also waved before Yah. They lay their hands on a particular bull sacrifice, and they are atoned for, so that they may traffic in the presence of Yahweh at a level that the rest of Israel does not have access to, and that Israel not suffer when they approach the throne or when they approach the altar, when they approach the presence of the Most High. There's a principle out of all of this I want to derive. There are individuals who, in our experience, seem to have access more readily to Yah's presence than most. What we see in these people are, if I have a need, these are the ones I'm going to call on to say, will you pray for me? If I need wisdom and counsel, these are the ones that I would go to and say, I need help here. These are the ones that would be your mentors, that would be role models that you want to follow after. These are the people that have that unmistakable mark of Yah upon their lives. Doesn't mean they're perfect. Doesn't mean they're without fault. They just seem to traffic in a closer part of his arena than most of us. They're not to be jealous of. They're not to be cast down or competed with. They are who they are. We need to honor them and recognize them. Some of us may say, well, why can't I get to that place? As I said in the opening statement, if you're willing and desirous of a certain part of Yah's presence to be at a certain close proximity to him, you have to be willing to be set apart to that. These men went through the necessary processes to get to that place and to traffic and move in it. It's not easy for anyone else unless you're called to it. So let's give honor to those who walk uprightly and powerfully in the earth. And may Yah raise up more to follow with them. More on that tomorrow. to them. We'll see you again. Shalom.